are you guys doing today? You're having coffee with me this morning. Yes, so our industry is in trouble. The food industry is in trouble. The tourism industry is in trouble. And, we're so unsure about what's going on and, how we're going to make it through this storm. And over the years, I have gone through I've gone through 9/11, recession, hurricane after hurricane after hurricane, and and my first year when I start working, my first year in my job, 9/11 struck, a curveball that I didn't see coming. I was going up the ladder and then boom, it's like a carpet just dragged right underneath your feet. I only had, I think, $5,000 in the bank, and and my rent was like $4,800, and they were cutting job left, right, and center, and I was so unsure about where I stand and how I was gonna survive, and I start to panic, because I'm like, I don't want to depend on my family, I don't want to put that strain on my family, and I start to panic, and I'm like, oh my God, how am I gonna live through this? How am I gonna live through this? And I decided in that moment that I have to survive, and I will survive, and no matter what, I am going to survive this. So I put plan into action. For 6 months I couldn't buy chicken. I think I only bought rice 2 times that time because I couldn't afford it, and I have to survive. And I used to just have one meal at my house, and I have never ate so much flour and tin mackerel in my entire life. One tin mackerel, how small those tin mackerel is? One tin mackerel used to last me 2 servings, and sometimes make it last me for 3, because guess what? I don't know where my next paycheck was coming from, and I know that I had to survive it. So I started to cut back totally from my life. I used to take 2 taxis to work. I used to take 1 and then walk the rest of the way. It wasn't that far, but when you're in a Jamaica and you walk in like 1 o'clock sun, pretty. So by the time you reach your work, you feel like you're going to faint. You sweat, you're wet, and then you have to go change and go to work. You know how uncomfortable that feel? But guess what? It was survival mode. So, in order to survive this, and over the years, every time a disaster happened, one thing the hotel industry always teach us is, put plan into action. How we gonna keep our team, how we gonna keep the company going, how we gonna keep, cutting back on food and making sure that we're keeping above our, food costs and stuff like that. So I always apply that to my life as well, because every time a disaster strike, you have to go into that planning mode. You're just gonna have to plan, and you're gonna have to say, I don't know how long this is gonna last, but I am going to survive this, and I will survive this, and I want to survive this. So start cutting back, start cutting back. Unplug everything to keep your electricity bill low. If that's one of the things that you need to cut back from your life. Instead of eating 4 dumplings, start eat 2 and save the other 2 for tomorrow. Yeah. So, instead of eating 2 pieces of chicken, chop it up. Chop up 1 piece, and it will look enough. Yeah. And save the other piece for tomorrow. That's how you have to go into the planning mode. That's how you have to plan your personal life. And when you do that, you're going to survive this. And trust me, you're going to thank me for this advice. Yeah? All right. Chat to you later.